right, 2KWE, the Shoot fans, we are back. New year, new lineup for everybody. And what a guest I have for you today. Man, I'm excited. We're going to get right into it. I just met him momentarily, but real quick bio, professional MMA fighter, and he's an 8-time MMA world champion, bare knuckle boxing world champion, 2-time Brazilian Jiu Jitsu world champion, professional wrestler at Hart Legacy Wrestling champion, and Pride veteran, a K1 veteran, and a Pancrase veteran. Man, let's get it going. His name is none other than Shannon the Cannon. That's a great name. Welcome to the Shoot, Shannon. Thank you for joining us. Man, it's a pleasure to have you. Salute.
Hey, man, I appreciate you bringing me on, man.
Right, man, right. It's been awesome. How was your holidays?
Oh, everything's good, man. Brand new year.
Brand new year. Everything's going good over here for us at the 2KWE, man. Let's get right into it, brother. How old were you when you first got into the fight game, wrestling game?
Well, I started fighting back in 1991. This is pre UFC. So back then, it was called NHB, No Holds Barred. We'd go down to Mexico. They'd have chicken fights, dog fights. Then the people would fight. And, that's how I made my way through college. I paid my bills by fighting. Every weekend, I'd go down to Mexico. I'd fight bare knuckle. They'd have the chicken fights, the dog fights, and the people would fight. And by then, man, everybody was drunk. And here was this little guy from Arizona coming out, and I was fighting pro boxers. I was in spandex and wrestling shoes, and then here they come out in like jeans, boots, whatever. And I literally just took everybody down rear choke. That was pretty much it.
Wow.
But it's
And
predates to UFC. UFC didn't start till 1993. Then I
right.
started fighting in 91. So
How old were you then?
I was 21 years old.
Now, and you paid your way through college, man. Kudos to
Yeah,
that, man.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Just whooping ass and going to school and balancing that schedule. That must have been, a lot of responsibility, a lot of
It
discipline. It
was.
takes a lot of discipline,
Yeah,
huh?
it was crazy.
How
Yeah,
were
it
you?
was crazy.
How were you as a child? High school,
Ah,
grammar
man,
school.
I grew up in a really poor family environment. Lived on a trailer out in the middle of a dirt road in a little tiny small town. We only had three stoplights. It was really, really small school. But I was the smallest kid in school, so I got picked on every single day. And I think that's why I became a fighter, just because I hate bullies, and
Right.
it more or less taught me how to fight.
All right. And so it was like a learning curve for you as
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
as you're growing up. I used to be a rambunctious kid, man. My parents, they always stayed in the principal's office. And
Yeah,
I'm 125 pounds, wet and wearing boots. So I had bullies and all of that stuff. But I got into martial arts, and that helped pave the way. It's been ever since a part of my life.
yeah.
Everybody asks me, and you probably get the same thing. Oh, do you still train? You do this? It's like, it's not really training no more after 30 something years of doing it. It's like a way of life, right? How do you feel about that?
It's definitely still training for me. I'm in the gym every day. I just sold my Brazilian Jiu Jitsu school, so I was doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu 6, 7 days a week. I still train, but you're right. It is definitely a way of life. It's gets to a point where it's not so demanding, and it's not so. It's just part of your life. It's just what you do. You get up, you eat, you go train. I mean, it is what it is.
That's right. And it helps throughout everything in life. When I
It
was
does.
young, I grew up in martial arts. When I was young, my sensei would be like, life is karate, karate is life. And I didn't really understand that until I got older, and I remember one time I went through a divorce, went bawling my eyes out, telling my sensei, oh, I don't know what to do. He just put his hand on my shoulder and said, must train. That's it. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
get your mind right.
I'm thinking it had to be I got to come and get words of wisdom from my sensei, and he's going to put me on the right path. And I was like, man, what kind of crap was that? Must train it. I listened to the old man. And I just dove in training 2, 3 times a day. And 7 years later, who cares? Find another one.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did you started off in bare knuckle, and how did you transition into MMA, and then how did you
Well, you,
transition
you got to
into pro
remember
wrestling?
when I started fighting in Mexico bare knuckle. This predates UFC. Again, UFC didn't start till 1993. So when I saw the UFC in 1993, I saw a guy named Hoist Gracie go out and win, and a smaller guy beat the
Yes.
bigger guys, and I was definitely impressed. And just like everybody else in the world, I wanted to start doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I was like, what is this Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? I got to learn this. And I met a guy by the name of Carlos Machado. Started training with Carlos Machado. Fast forward now, I'm a fourth degree black belt under Carlos, and
Nice.
again, two-time world champion Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. You know, we transitioned early on from NHB, no holds barred, into MMA, which is now mixed martial arts.
Right.
Um, Guy by the name of Dan the Beast Severn actually went to Arizona State University, and I knew who he was, and I ended up getting to meet him. And one of his training partners was a female fighter named Becky Levi, and they got me into my first sanctioned MMA at the time NHB match out in Hawaii at the Blaisdell Arena for Super Brawl. We're fighting in front of 10,000 people, and I think I
Wow.
made $1,000 or something like that. At the time it's tournament style. You have to fight 3 times in one night to win a tournament. Everything
Yeah.
was tournaments. There were no single fights. But that was definitely like as soon as I stepped into that arena, I saw the 10,000 fans. This was my calling. This is what I wanted to do, and I never looked back. I've been fighting ever since.
Yeah, you get the roar of the crowd, and you get the jitters in there,
Oh yeah,
and you know, if you don't get a little nervous before any big event, any big fight, I don't know what's wrong with you, because no
yeah.
matter how long you've been doing it, you get it. And then how was it the transition into professional wrestling?
I think it was for me a natural transition due to the fact that I always was the MMA fighter that put on a show. I came out with costumes and masks and crazy walkout entrances, and I made a show out of it. And I met some guys that were doing professional wrestling, and they said, "Hey, you should try this." And end up training with them. A good buddy of mine is Luther Reigns.
Right.
Used to wrestle in the WWF. Another guy is Ricky Ortiz. He used to be in the WWF. Those guys kind of took me under their wing and showed me a little bit here and there. And I've went on to wrestle in Japan for New Japan
Wow.
for Antonio Inoki, and also going to Pancras over in Japan, and then going to China, doing pro wrestling in China, doing some
Wow.
indie stuff here in the United States at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, wrestling here in Arizona, and then now wrestling in Canada. I'm the Hart Legacy Wrestling Heavyweight Showdown Champion. So yeah, man, it was an easy transition for me because I just I took the showman, the show of it, and
Right. Right.
I
The
like to tell a
entertainment
story.
value.
I like to be a heel or a baby face, and more or less I'm the heel. I like being the heel. Getting the crowd behind you or booing you, making that crowd pop. I love it. Pro wrestling to me is just it's theatrical, and
Right.
it's just amazing. If it's done right, I think it's fantastic.
Who's your favorite wrestler at the moment?
Uh, Man, I like I'm gonna
Do you watch product? Do you watch
yeah,
AEW?
I
Do
mean
you watch
I do
WWE?
here and I do here and there, but I mean like right now my favorite guy is The Rock. I think The Rock is just he's on another level. I mean, not
Right.
only is he into to the pro wrestling, but into acting as well. I mean, the guy can act. He can straight up just act. He's a good actor. He's a good stunt man. He's a good action star. He's just well rounded. I mean, the guy can do it all.
The guy, he could run for fucking president, brother, and he
Yeah,
would win. Like
absolutely. Yeah, he
seriously,
probably
like
would win. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like
you
The
know.
Rock. I'm a big Rock fan.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the movies because like I said, we like keeping the things organic. So I just met you just when the fans meet you. So I know you touched up. You got a movie coming up. You got a movie part coming up in a movie. Let's talk about that, man. That's got to be exciting.
so so yeah, last year was a big year for me. I got my SAG card. I started with the Screen Actors Guild, and I've done
Right.
6 movies in the last year. One is just came out. It's on the Apple TV. It's called The Commando, starring Michael J. White and Mickey Rourke. It's out right now. You can watch it. It's like $6 or whatever on Apple TV. I just did another movie with Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo, another guy
Wow.
by the name of Kevin Dillon. Um, did another movie just recently out in Miami, and it was with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Chuck Zito. Um, Yeah, man. Acting to
You
me
gotta add
is.
movie star to your resume here,
Well,
brother.
I'm
You
definitely
know,
definitely actor,
that's
movie
legit.
star.
Come on
I'm
now.
on my I'm on my way up. I don't want to brag
Bruce
about it too much,
Willis,
but
come on, Bruce
yeah, but
Willis.
I'm but I had a co-starring role in this last film. I had several pages of dialogue, and I'm not just doing stunts or little bit scenes. I'm actually,
Right,
I got speaking roles, and I'm trying to be like a new action star, Jason Statham type guy, and
right,
the man behind the mohawk. I want to be known for the mohawk. I want to be known for being Shannon the Cannon.
right. And a very interesting name. How long it took you to figure out Shannon the Cannon and who he
You know
is and what he represents?
that came literally like in the beginning of my fight career. I'm always been a fast fighter, first round fighter. I either come out and knock you out or you come out and knock me out. I mean, I am fast and furious, and I usually say I'm going to hit you three ways: hard, fast, and continuously. I like to fucking bang,
Right.
and so one day I'm I'm fighting, and I guess the promoter was looking down, doing some paperwork, whatever. He looked up, the fight was over, and he goes, "What the heck happened?"
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Oh, it looked like that guy got shot out of a cannon." He said, "Who is that?" Shannon the Cannon. That's how I got the name the Cannon.
Nice,
So
nice.
that's me.
Who would you say would have been your toughest opponent in all the
Ah,
years?
skill wise, it was Sakuraba, main event Pride 11. I got to fight Sakuraba because you see Sakuraba is one of the legends, not only as pro wrestler but in MMA.
Right.
Frank Shamrock was probably one of the toughest guys I ever fought. He broke my arm, and
Oof.
yeah, good guy, man. Frank was super tough. I fought a plethora of tough guys. I mean, everybody from Diego Sanchez to Dennis Hallman. Man, you name it, I probably fought him. I fought Evan Tanner. I fought so many guys. I hold the record for the most fights out of anybody in the world that's living. There was a guy named Travis Fulton, but he's dead now. So that number one spot goes to me. So
So
as a living
this
MMA
is
fighter,
official in
I'm
the Guinness World Book of
it's
Records.
absolutely. You go to Sherdog, you go to any other them. Yeah, I'm number one. Then it's Dan Severn. Then it's Jeremy Horn. So I'm number one with the most total fights out of anybody in the
Wow,
world. Yeah,
that's
no,
good. That's good. And
lived a crazy
what
life.
what's the
Not saying I
secret?
won every fight, but
No, of course not.
I
You
never
can't win them
backed,
all.
I
But
never backed down,
what's
and
your
I never
secret
ducked
for
anybody.
longevity, brother? You know, at your
Just
age, you're still
just not taking
clanging
damage.
and banging. You're still
You got to
clanging
know
and
when
banging. You're still going. You know,
you got to
what's the secret?
the secret is you got to know when you've had enough. You know what I mean? You're in a point in a situation in the fight that you're getting your ass kicked and it is done. There's no way you're going to win except for maybe a Hail Mary knockout. Don't just keep getting punished. You got to know when to tap. There's a reason that there's a rule for tapping out. Save it for another day. Come back, go back to the gym, train. Try it again. You're not a pussy if you tap out. A lot of people think, oh man, he tapped out, he's a puss. That's just being smart, man.
Right.
You get into a situation, you're going to have your arm broken or you should tap out. What do you think you should do? I'm going
Did
to
you
tap due to the fact I'm going to fight next weekend. If you break my arm, then I'm out for 6 months.
did you see that
And
UFC event about a couple of weeks ago where the buddy didn't tap and they snapped the
snapped.
arm? Did you see that one?
Now, yeah,
That
now the
was
guy's out for a while. He'll be out for 6 months.
right. And how have
And
you how have
you
you
got to
dealt?
remember during the time I was doing this, you got to remember there were not really too many professional MMA fighters. All these guys were fighting, yet they were still working. I was a professional MMA fighter for the last 30 years, meaning I only fought. I would fight on Friday, I will fight on Saturday, I will fight the next weekend. I mean, I will fight, 20 times in 1 month because
Right.
that's how I made my living.
Right. That's your livelihood.
Yeah, so you
And
had to
and
know when was enough was enough. So anyway,
and this new
um,
generation don't know if they go. You could
dude,
probably download the
these guys
UFC
fight
number
three
one.
times a year. They fight
You
three
could
times a year.
yeah.
They fight 5 years and then they retire.
You could download UFC one or watch it on YouTube or whatever, and it's like it's crazy like how
Yeah,
that came across. And when you started, it was just in its infancy. You know what I'm saying? And it was practically bare knuckle. And just like you, I seen Royce Gracie. One of my fondest memories is, and he was upside down. That sumo wrestler had him. He was about to slam him, and he dislocated his shoulder. He put his foot in his armpit and was like looked up and
yeah.
smiled, and then popped it off. I was like,
Armbar.
oh
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
that's awesome. Just just witnessing those things and living through that. You
Well, and
talk
another
about it.
thing too is traveling and seeing the world. I've literally been probably anywhere and everywhere you could think of: Russia, Thailand,
Right.
Burma, Canada, Mexico,
How
Puerto Rico, China.
how
I
is
mean, it's
Russia?
just amazing,
I
dude.
did.
Russia's amazing. It's one of my favorite places on earth. I've
Is
got
it?
treated. I got treated so well in Russia. They treated me so well,
I
and
did.
the people were amazing.
I did 4 years in the Navy, and one of my favorite places to go was Australia. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've been like almost 50 50 countries. Some last time I checked, something 60 something cities or something like that. And but Australia was a very good port for me. But I didn't get to Russia. I
Yeah,
didn't get to the Mediterranean or nothing like that. You know.
yeah. And
So
I've been, I've been.
what does what does Shannon do to bounce back after a loss?
I go back to the gym and try to figure out why did I lose. A lot of times, I took fights on last minute. I mean, literally last minute, hours notice. I was the guy that would save a promoter show. They'd have a guy fall out. They'd call me last minute. Hey, can you fight? I'm like, absolutely. I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. And it didn't matter the weight classes. I mean, I fought at 155, 170, 85, 205 in heavyweight. I got a belt in all five weight classes. So uh, I was just always ready to fight. And so after a loss, obviously you get depressed and, it's a roller coaster. You get the
Right,
high highs and you get the low lows. And you just have to dig deep and figure out, hey, is this really what I want to do? You got to figure out if this is what you want to continue doing, do it to your body, go through the training, get back to the gym and figure it out and say, hey, okay, I lost last time. Why did I lose? And then try to fix it.
right,
And the whole point about fighting for me was always trying to be better than I was last time. I was always trying to improve, always trying to be better than I was the last time.
right. You can be good
So
today.
I'm
Be
so I'm 50. I'm 51 years old. 4 weeks ago, I fought in Rough RUF out of Arizona. I won their heavyweight world championship, and then I gave it up. I retired. So now I am a retired MMA fighter, but I am a still current bare knuckle boxing heavyweight world champion, and I will still fight bare knuckle. So I've been trying to get Logan Paul or Jake Paul or somebody to take off the mittens and fight me bare knuckle. They always want to talk about they'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, blah 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 blah
right.
blah, and they fight with these mittens on. Take the damn mittens off. Fight me like a man.
They don't want it.
Let's step up and fight for real, man. Let's use these knuckles. You know what I mean?
So
Let's knuckle up.
did you hear that Mike Tyson took the fight with this kid?
Yeah, yeah. Tyson's gonna hurt that boy, man.
I really hope so. I really hope
Tyson's
so.
gonna
I
hurt
want him
that
to
guy.
put an
One
end to all
one
of this nonsense. It's shenanigans.
it, it's
Like
shenanigan. One body shot, that dude's going down.
I hope so.
That,
I
that
hope
guy's
so.
going down. See, I already
Because
talked to Dave Feldman at Bare Knuckle Boxing Fighting Championship, BKFC. Hey, man, if Jake Paul wants a fight, we'll give him a fight. So, anyway, anytime.
I don't think he'll do the bare knuckle thing, bro.
Never. He ain't never gonna fight bare knuckle. But I always wanted to be the one to welcome him to real man's fighting.
I would love
Right
to
now,
see
bare
that.
knuckle boxing is the fastest growing sport. It's the most extreme fighting allowed by law, and it's exciting, man. It's so much fun. It's 5 2-minute rounds of nonstop action.
It
So,
is.
man, if you haven't watched bare knuckle, you need to watch it. It is amazing. I love it.
I've been trying to get an interview with I have a mutual friend with the women's champion of bare knuckle. I don't know if you know her. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. But yeah, I've been stalking her and see if I can get an interview. But
Yeah,
yeah, bare knuckle is coming up because it's reminiscent of, you know, the old times,
yeah. Just like John L.
the
Sullivan, first American heavyweight world champ, going around the world just knocking fools
the
out, man.
queen's
That's it.
rights right here when they used to fight like this,
Yeah.
like that, Mark of the Queensberry, like that, So what do you do when you're not fighting, kicking ass, you're not fucking a movie star, working with Bruce
Man,
Willis?
you see this
What do you
you see
do?
this backyard that I
I
got, man.
see you. I see you. I
I
see
got a
you.
resort back here, man. I'm at my house. I'm in my man cave. I'm watching movies on my 86-inch screen TV. I play a lot of golf, man. Actually, I'm an avid golfer. I go out and play golf a couple days a week. A lot of tournaments, celebrity pro-ams. I love to play golf, and also I go talk to kids. I go to schools. I do
Right.
anti-bully assemblies. I give up my time. I go talk to kids, talk to them about all kinds of stuff. Not one thing that I is my mantra is it's nice to be important, but most important to be nice. So I
Right.
really want to get that message out to the kids, and that you can do anything. If you set your mind to it, you can do anything you want, man.
Man, that's very awesome. Now, do you have kids of your own? Do you have a
No,
family?
I have a wife and 3 dogs, and we chill, man. We travel a lot. I just got back from Cancun. Like I said, I was in Miami for a month. We go to Mexico, 7, 8 times a year. We love the beach. If there's a beach, I'm gonna be there. So when I'm not on set, if I'm not training, not wrestling, you could probably find me on the beach somewhere, man. I love the beach.
And how long you been married for?
Almost 12 years.
12 years. And
Yep,
that
yep,
right
almost
there
12
is
years.
your toughest fight.
That was the toughest fight right there, my man. No, it's not really a fight, man. She's my best friend, so we get along so good. She loves. I mean, she's cornered me in 5 world title fights. She's cornered me in Russia and Thailand and London and you name it. She's been there with me in Mexico. She goes everywhere with me, and we have a great time, man. My
That's
best
awesome.
friend.
That's awesome. That's real awesome. How long she's been doing that with you, cornering with you, and
Oh, for 12 years.
she's
12 years
been
we've been
there
together.
sides
Yep,
side by
yep. Since
side
the
from the
beginning.
beginning.
Actually, my first date. Actually, our first date. I took her to a fight, and I fought in Texas, and I knocked out a kid named John Wood. If you Google, if anybody wants to use the word Google, it's what all the kids are using now. They're using this thing called Google. But you
Yeah.
go in there and you type in MMA super fight,
Now
and
I'm excited
oh
for
wait,
you.
sorry, MMA super kick. That's it, super
Okay.
kick.
MMA
And if you
super kick.
type, yeah, if you type that in, mine's the first one that pops up. I knocked out John Wood, and that was the first date that me and my wife had, actually.
That's awesome. And she was hooked.
Oh, she was hooked, man. She's like, oh wow, this is amazing.
Now, like I was gonna say, I'm excited for you for your upcoming event. You just told me before we started. Um, round three, you and Dan
This
Severn.
so this is interesting. So
Yeah,
Dan Severn is a friend of mine. I've known Dan for 20 years.
he's a friend of
Um,
me.
yeah, he's a friend of me, man. He is literally one of the guys that helped me get into MMA. And
Okay,
then we fought each other 2 times. The first time he threw me out of the ring onto a table. He ended up beating me. And the second time we
I gotta
fought out in
Google that one.
Hawaii,
I didn't see that one. I gotta
yeah,
Google that.
we fought in Hawaii, and I'd made him tap out. I got him in an ankle lock. I tapped him out. His hand came. He tapped. He'll say he didn't tap, but he tapped. But he ended up winning that fight. Um, it's still a little
Now,
bittersweet for me because round
round
three,
three
this
is
is
gonna
pro
be in a
wrestling.
wrestling atmosphere.
Yeah,
Pro
wrestling,
wrestling
pro
rules.
wrestling, and believe me, I'm gonna give him a receipt. I'm gonna
Oh
slam
yeah.
Dan. I'm gonna give him some love. Let's put it that way.
What's your finisher move?
I love ankle locks, man. I'm an ankle lock guy.
Your
If I get
submission
if I can get a
specialist.
hold of an ankle lock or arm bar or a choke, yeah, I'm gonna try to take it home with me.
Right. And you think he's gonna go for a submission or Dan Severn, he's man, he
Dan's
put some
more like
paws
a
on you
ground.
like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember.
big. You know what he does though, man? He has a really good arm triangle, man. If he
Yeah.
gets that, it's really hard to get away from. I've been a victim of that once before, so I'm definitely gonna look out for that.
So round three in a pro wrestling atmosphere, pro wrestling rules. Here's your shot, Shannon the Cannon,
It is
to
because
throw him
the
out
last
the
time,
ring. Get your revenge. Throw
man,
him
that was
out the ring. Pick him up
how awesome would
and
that be?
toss him out the ring. Like, remember
Over
you
the
did this
top
to
rope.
me? Yeah, over
Yeah,
the
over
top.
the top rope. What's awesome is that Dan Severn was about 279 pounds, and I was about 180 pounds. So he was a gigantic man. Well, now, hey, man, I'm 230, 235. He's like 250. So we're really close in size now.
He's shrinking. He's getting older.
He's shrinking, and I'm getting bigger. So
How what are
I'm ready to
those
rock and roll.
25-inch pythons like the Hulkster?
No, they're 19. I mean, that's pretty good. 19
they're
is good.
they're
Almost
19s, but I keep them shiny.
almost 20 inches right there, man. That's pretty good for
Dude,
51.
brother, when I get 51, I'm 44. When I get
Yeah.
51, I hope I'm anywhere near as like you. I gotta hit the
Yeah.
gym though.
A lot
I
of
do a
work, man.
lot
A
of
lot of
I
work.
gotta do a lot of I
Now you got to
I
remember,
do a lot of calisthenics.
I went from the smallest kid in school to now, I'm actually a pretty big guy. I mean, I walk in a room and guys go, "Holy shit, that dude's big." It's still awkward. It's still weird for me to hear people say, "Hey, that big guy." Who are you talking to me? And it's real weird because I still think of myself as the small guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What kind of music you like listening to, brother?
Man, come on. There's only two types of music: country and western. That's it, baby.
you should you should have said sad and sad.
Man, country and western. Dude, I love country music, man. I'm a big Luke Combs fan. Luke Combs is the
That's who you're
man.
listening to right now.
Chris Stapleton. Yeah, I love it, man.
You
Love
know,
country music.
because of my name.
Classic rock. AC Journey, Boston. I'm a big avid classic rock guy. They say it's classic rock. It's just rock to me. But all the kids now they said, "Oh, that's old." Well, I'm old. I'm 51.
And you said you just be watching movies at home, relaxing with
Dude,
the
I'm a
missus and
huge
the
movie
dogs.
buff. Yeah,
Did
huge movie buff. I
Did
love
you check out the new
watching films.
Spider-Man movie?
I did, man. That was such a good movie, man. I really
What do
really
you think
enjoyed it.
about it? I say it was the
It was
best
good.
Spider-Man ever, and I'm talking
Uh,
about. I'm going all the way back
oh, you all the way
to the
back?
first
Okay.
one from 1970, where the guy was shooting yarn on his wrist.
Yeah. No, it was such a great movie, man. The special effects now are just, dude, they're next level. So all the CGI just makes the movie.
Yeah, I'm a big movie fan. You know, me and my missus, we curl up. We got all these shows to watch, and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime. I can't even keep up sometimes, brother.
Apple TV, go watch the Commando.
That's the
The
movie,
the Commando.
The
First scene is
Commando,
the
starring
first scene
yourself and who else?
for Mickey Rourke and Michael J. White. Cowboy Cerrone's in it as well. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
nice. That's
yeah, yeah.
awesome. So, if a booker want to
So
book you, if a promoter want to call you up and say I got a fight for you, how do they get in contact with Shannon the Cannon? Cause I had to go through like three steps to go to get to where we're at right now. So how do they contact you?
I'm on the big IG. I'm on Instagram at Shannon Ritch MMA, and also I'm on Facebook under Shannon Ritch, RITCH. Anybody can send me a message. I got it opened up to everybody, and I pretty much respond to all my messages. So yeah, you can do that. But look, man, March 26th,
Yes.
Elmira, New York, Hart Legacy Wrestling's coming to invade the United States. Hart Legacy Wrestling, if you guys don't know, the Hart Foundation, the Hart family out of Canada is so massive. It's their version of the WWE in Canada. Hart
Yes.
Legacy Wrestling, HLW. I'm the heavyweight champion right now, and I'm gonna wrestle Dan Severn March 26th in Elmira, New York.
Yeah. And what are you doing to prepare for that fight?
Man, I'm just hitting the weights, dude. I'm getting really strong and I'm doing some wrestling. I want to be able to defend all Dan's shots. If he comes in, I'll be able to handle it. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Man, homie, it's been a pleasure. It's my honor to meet you. We're gonna do this again down the road,
Yeah, let's do it.
and I wish you nothing but the best in all of your future endeavors.
I
And
appreciate it.
against Dan Severn, man, the beast. Don't
Dan the Beast.
you're a big boy too, so I'm gonna be rooting for you.
All right, man.
And
I appreciate it.
I hope everybody got your tags again. Shannon Ritch on Instagram. If you're a promoter out there and you need somebody to fill in a spot, somebody to kick some ass real quick, Shannon the Cannon's gonna explode all over your promotion for you, right?
That's it. That's it.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. You have a good day, and we'll see you on the other side, brother. Thank you very much.